This Christmas, I want you to have more than a Merry Christmas. I want you to have a favorite Christmas. Here's some truth for you. You have found favor with the King. Have you ever had someone do a favor for you? When it happens, it's usually so needed, isn't it? It releases so much pressure. In Luke 1 from verse 26 and following, Mary was told that she was highly favored by God. This statement would change her life. But she was surprised by the statement though, because she knew how the favor of a king works. There's a general favor the king would give his citizens on special occasions. But then there's the king's personal favor, only reserved for those found in his court, reserved for his favorites. With this in mind, Mary was surprised because economically and maybe by the law the Jews lived by at the time, she was not qualified. She was an outsider. But favor would change all of that. Jesus, in one of his parables found in Matthew 22, would talk about how those on the inside would be out and those on the outside would be in. In this moment, Mary was in. She was highly favored. This was an official announcement from the king that she had access to his court because of Jesus that would be born, that she was now a favorite. This Christmas through Jesus, like Mary, we are highly favored. We have access to his court and therefore have the king's personal favor at our disposal. This is the favor you want because it's where the king, a superior, leans in over his inferiors and meets their needs. It's a favor which gives us access to the king's power, his ability to get results. It's a favor which transforms our lives. In Jesus this Christmas, we have found favor with God. We are in his courts. God is releasing heaven's standards for our lives. This is the good news of Christmas. Now, it is important to note that even though we have God's personal favor through the gift of Jesus, the right conditions are needed to activate that favor. You see, favor is like a blessing. You are blessed in Jesus, but the blessing needs certain conditions to be activated. It's the same with the king's personal favor. In Jesus, you and I are favored. But favor means nothing without favorable conditions, meaning that we need favor when the conditions are not that favorable. Mary's circumstances were conducive for the king's favor. The announcement of her pregnancy would bring chaos to her world. They would have to be on the run for a while. There would be no peace and no joy, even though this was a moment in her life which brings joy and peace because a child would be born. But all of this was favorable conditions because the favor of the king could now be activated. This favor would bring her the peace and the joy she needed. This is the promise Jesus would fulfill as the Prince of Peace, as the joy to the world. For many of us, we are in our favorable conditions. We've been under pressure when it comes to our families, our finances, our futures. But the gift of Jesus will bring favor to overcome any condition. This Christmas, the favor of God will be activated in your life, bringing you peace and joy. Peace is simply putting together that which was separated. God's favor will put back together whatever was torn from your life through whatever circumstances you went through. Anything which brought chaos and confusion, anything which almost made you give up, whatever your circumstances took from you, the peace of God will bind it all back together again. This is the promise Jesus would make in John 14:27 when he said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid." His favor would also lead us into joy. This joy is an assurance and confidence which leads to a cheerful heart. It's a boldness which no circumstance can take away. It gives us strength in our time of weakness. What Nehemiah 8 verse 10 says is so true, that the joy of the Lord is our strength. This is favor activating in our lives through the gift of Jesus this Christmas. Your favorable conditions will release the favor of the King over your life because we are in his court. We are his favorites. Whatever you are experiencing right now, the disappointments, the fear, the hopelessness, these are right conditions for God's favor to activate. So do not lose heart. Peace and joy will bring hope into your life. Hope to overcome. Romans 15:13 says it like this: May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. You are not defeated, no matter what it looks like. You are not without hope, because you have found favor with the King. Like Mary, start agreeing with his favor and say like she did, "Let it be unto me just as you have said." Take him at his word this Christmas, because his word will not return void unto him, but it will accomplish all that he sent it out to accomplish. It will bring the favor of God into your life, bringing you peace and joy. So this Christmas, do not be afraid, for you have found favor with God. Peace is on your right and joy is on your left. These are the gifts to receive this Christmas. You are in his court. You are his favorite. This Christmas, you will have more than a Merry Christmas. This Christmas, through Jesus, you will have a favorite Christmas.